the ability to form effective teams to work and study. Not just we do group work, but we are good at entering complex teams, project teams that might consist of people from different countries, different nationalities, different professional backgrounds, different belief systems from ours, and somehow being the kind of people. So I asked their teacher, Hayden Ellis, why they were doing this, and he said that a fortnight previously they had a bit of a discussion about their future and whether their working conditions might evolve exactly what I'd be talking about, the ability to get into a group, to be able to be flexible about joining groups that didn't contain their friends, and that therefore, for the rest of that term, they were going to continually keep changing the size and the composition of the groups that they were working in order, as they would call it in building learning power language, to stretch their collaborating muscles. At the same time as they were doing the hiring. Was that important? Do you think that would be a useful kind of thing to be thinking about? The ability to check and improve your own work, to be self-evaluative, to develop the joy, we might say, to produce a complicated bit of wiring when you're rewiring an old house, that another electrician would wander in and look up and kind of a slow smile would spread across his face and he'd say, don't know who did that, good. Right? Is that something valuable?
Students in the 21st century that you imagine it's going to be.
Great chat. So these are just exemplars. They're not.
We need them. I'm making decisions.
Often it's not, for a lot of people it's not clear what that actually means, what the cash value in a lifelong learner is.
We thought, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we thought also that number 7, it kind of was umbrella.
We had a couple of pianos quickly for 7. Improving your own work, that attitude of craftsmanship. Yeah, please.
We were talking about question checking knowledge claims as a very important 21st century skill that students now need to learn, and because a lot of their work is they're having all this new information given to them, they don't know how to handle it. A lot of those other ones are innate. You know, people on feet, persisting difficulty. We did that with a bag of books, as we said when we were younger.
Innate? Do you think so?
To a degree. But things like checking and evaluating sources, knowing what's right, and basing decisions on knowledge that needs to be evaluated.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, for me that's. Are we building that bridge within the frameworks? You have to build it through specifics, don't you? From the grand philosophy to the details of do we or don't we encourage the use of erasers in the junior school. Right? To be able to stimulate the development of these kinds of things than otherwise. Okay, so here's the obvious next follow-up. Here's the same list again. How well are you currently doing? You're having here building self-esteem, highly problematic. Helping young people fulfill their potential, vacuous. Right? Like we need to get down to something that is demonstrable, something that we can know how to go, whether you've done it or not. Imagine a report to government which said, I'm sorry to have to report that only 54% of our school leavers this year managed to achieve at least 75% of their potential. And it doesn't make any sense, it's ridiculous. Yeah? So we need to be harder and tougher with ourselves, don't we, about getting a bit more crisp, a bit more crunchy about the kinds of language that we're using, back to numbers, having crunched all these kinds of things together. This is this book which I've just ploughed through, which you don't have to, because I picked out the best bits for you. Described in this book, which I'm sure is on your reading list, How Children Succeed, by Paul Tough, that exam grades get you through certain doors. Once you're through the doors, your attitudes and capabilities and attitudes matter much more in terms of your success. So, and this is just a fancy way of saying that. Character strengths or learning habits as, and here come some of our old friends, perseverance, self-control, attentiveness, resilience to adversity. In the last few years, where within 5 minutes someone's buttonholed me and rather earnestly said, we're not just an exam factory, you know. And the fear is, of course, they are. The fear is that they have become so, that they've lost sight of how to do this other side of what they're doing. But they have a different, both of those things together are predictors of life success in all kinds of ways. And beyond a shadow of doubt, we know these strengths can be enhanced. There are proven and effective ways to do so, and there are also, we've got a trail over the last 20 or 30 years, and we've been it that much longer, of ineffective ways of doing it. We're getting smarter about knowing how to weave the progressive development of these kinds of things into the normal business of schools. So, and there is flexibility. We're encouraging them to drink bottles of water, and they all know whether they're visual or kinesthetic. And that was kind of entry-level learning to learn stuff, wasn't it? It's like a few little bits of tinsel on an unreconstructed educational trip. But now we're much better. We're much better informed than that. And I'm sure you are here. One important thing from my perspective. You can't, if you're a teacher, this isn't something you can, you know, I'm a maths teacher, I'm a good old-fashioned maths teacher, I get damn good results, and I heave a sigh of relief knowing that some other people in some other corner of the school, maybe in drama or PSHE, are dealing with this kind of thing, so I don't have to. Right? Actually, everybody is always a teacher of learning habits. The question is, what learning habits are you teaching? You can teach the Tudors or the American War of Independence in a way that stretches and strengthens mental skills and habits like transcription and empathy. You could get students to critique the textbook. You could get the students to analyse a few pages of the textbook from the point of view of what is the cultural perspective of the textbook writer. Whose viewpoints are being represented as if they were natural, normal and unquestionably correct. What opinions of them building learning how to stretch their empathy muscles by doing that with a writing. I don't know about here, right? It's the first time in my life I've been to Cobham, or indeed to any of your schools, to Doha, but I would imagine that for many 14-year-olds in the 21st century, it's quite a stretch to put yourself into the mind and the body and the mindset and the social context of a virgin queen in the 16th century, don't you think? It would be quite stretching your empathy muscles. It's not just allowing or affording them, it's making it difficult to do. So there are ways, I've just illustrated two little ways in which you become more independent, collaborative, thoughtful, and critical in their approach to that. So this is getting us beyond the tinsel approach, isn't it? Getting us beyond this kind of scattering. Start with, they don't have much to say, but with some coaching and some modelling from her. I just want you to spend 1 minute with your learning buddy and then tell me, what do you think would be the best group size to do that activity? Okay, off you go. And children are used to this. So they go chat, 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 1 minute. Back they come with ideas. Some thought pairs, some thought threes, some thought fours, and they could give good reasons. Because they're used to doing that. They've been coached, involved progressively in the business of thinking about the learning process and how to optimize it. And the teacher can then work with that feedback in a variety of different ways. Could you do that? Everybody could do that with their kids, couldn't they? That's half an eye on building that ability to be good team players and team leaders, isn't it? And building that ability to design your own learning for yourself. I've done a lot of work over the last few years with the premise of schools already. Some things maybe not. It just shows you how much is up the ground. The language, again, the terminology that you use to describe things, does it make a difference? If you call things learning sessions rather than lessons, does it make a difference? And that you can become more articulate and more fluent about the process of collaborating or your ability to persist in the face of difficulty or whatever it might be. Would it be a good idea to have students, who probably do already, running their own parental consultations, and in preparation for that, particularly reflecting on their progress in the development of their learning habits, setting their own learning targets for progress and improvement. So there's lots of little practical things you can do, providing you're working with a language that is concrete, precise, observable, demonstrable. If you stay at the level of vague, it's back to what Ben was talking about before. This is from a survey a while ago of young people's attitudes for schooling. I don't know if the youngsters here would agree with this. Most young people, with insecurity. Insecurity becomes an integral part of growing up. Schools are seen as failing to equip young people with the ability to learn for life rather than for exams. As one student commented in this survey, they need to teach the knowledge, but they never teach you how to learn. They being you. They need to teach the knowledge, but they never teach you how to learn. And for yourself, to manage your time, to work well with other people, to be able to design your own study groups, and so on. So that when you get your place at a Russell Group University, or at Harvard, or the Sorbonne, or wherever, you're prepared. You're ready for a world which is less supportive.